Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Libra December 1, 2022. In the first half of the day, a Mercury-Mars opposition can stir disagreements. Mercury is your ruler, and Mars is currently in your sign and retrograde, making this a rather personal transit. A significant other may be critical or nitpicky with you. Alternatively, you may feel nagged or dogged to communicate about something for which you don't yet have an answer. There may be frustrations, particularly about matters of opinion and freedom, which can put you in a position where you feel you must defend yourself. If you pay attention to your reactions to irritations, you might notice self-destructive behaviors or unresolved issues that you should unpack in the future. You're in the best shape today if you keep some emotional distance, although if something needs airing, then it might emerge. As the day advances, you are in fantastic condition to focus on priorities and realities. You prefer to stick to tried and true methods. It becomes easier to consider others' points of view. Your common sense helps you unblock or find your way around obstacles. Today's cosmic energy is much sweeter, especially for you. Mental Mercury, your planetary ruler, will smile within the sky over to a serene Saturn, the planet of permanence and strength. You'll have a clear head on your shoulders to discuss any significant plans with your one and only as you plot out a conquest for true happiness and success. If you take a methodical approach to your endeavors as a team, you both can speak up about how you can contribute and build for the long term. This will make you feel wise and secure. Try not to be so defensive in conversation today. As Mars retrograde in your sign opposes Mercury in Sagittarius, you may notice that an initially upbeat discussion could go sideways if you are not careful. Conversations with colleagues, clients, and supervisors might be a bit more heated than usual. Since everyone has something to say, you may want to reconsider how defensive you are. Be open to what others have to contribute to the conversation, since it could give you a greater perspective of your work moving forward. But do not let anyone walk all over you either. 2 days after the moon left your financial sector, it is more important than ever to hold on to the intuitive read on money matters that this left you with. With Mercury just 7 days away from a return next week that will keep him and his smart head for money in your financial sector through to February, money matters are about to become a lot more active. You may be needed by everyone today. The aspect at play has a way of making people more emotional than usual, and they tend to run to the nearest person to help process the uncomfortable, the challenging, the downright scary. You may experience your own deep feelings welling up, and it's important to take time out to notice what's going on inside of yourself. Here is an ideal scenario. Prepare a nice dinner for your loved ones and take a long walk afterwards. Have you ever considered sharing your talents with others by teaching? If you haven't, don't be surprised if today's energy has you thinking about it. The vibration from this number focuses a lot on giving of yourself in this manner, and while formal teaching may not be your thing, there are many ways for you to share what you know. You could do anything from showing your kids how to do a craft, to authoring a book on the subject you know best. Explore this area today to see where you can expand yourself. In a case of perfect timing, the moon not only returns to your career sector in the heart of the working week, but in time to ensure your professional instincts are sharp as Jupiter moves into his final 3 weeks here today. Just over a month after retrograde back in for a deep dive and just 6 days after turning direct, Jupiter is on his way back out again. The moon is also here to ensure you are emotionally and intuitively engaged during Neptune's final days in retrograde motion here before he too will turn direct over the weekend. Mercury becomes the first planet to clash with Mars since his return to your sign in August, and it comes just as he moves into his final 7 days in your relationship sector. This is just the first of 3 times a balance between your personal and relationship needs will be put to the test over the next 10 days, with the planet of communication able to get out in front of this. Our eyes in the sky. Try to get in some light exercise before heading off to work, and try to avoid grabbing that extra cup of coffee or it could lead to a case of the jitters. Today has a cerebral vibe that might get the better of you, making it important that you ground yourself and focus on your breath throughout the day. Should you begin to feel overwhelmed, take a step back and rest, if only for a few minutes. Watch out for a communication breakdown this afternoon when the moon shares an off-kilter connection. Choose your words with care while this energy is present so you can avoid arguments. Your ability to understand any situation is good and you're able to undertake any sort of mental task. Equally, you're communicating without any difficulty, so possible negotiations or similar conversations turn out to be successful. You also find your general level of curiosity is heightened and you're keen to acquire knowledge and learn as much as you can. You apply yourself to a subject that has stimulated your interest over a sustained period. It's easier for you to obtain the necessary focus you need and you're more motivated than you have ever been before. Use this newfound enthusiasm and concentrate on making contacts to solve any outstanding issues needed for a successful outcome. Luckily, the energy transforms this evening, which should help you quickly release any unpleasant thoughts or situations you found yourself in today. The cosmic weather is quiet today, until Mercury in Sagittarius opposes retrograde Mars in Gemini, provoking a war of words. Offensive or defensive language is unlikely to help us make our point. We are nervous and quick to anger, and although we may have good talking points to back up our arguments, we are apt to flit from talking point to talking point without finishing our thoughts. Our inability to stay on topic means that civilized discussions can quickly devolve into yelling matches. We are still in a long lunar void, of course, which began last night, and must attempt to remain patient now, even if someone is intent on getting up in our faces. If possible, avoid electing this day to finally air out long-held grievances. Guard against the perils of extravagance and overindulgence in any way you can. Your current fantasies are unlikely to be fulfilled, they're just excessively optimistic. Try not to feel so dissatisfied with your circumstances and be as realistic as possible, instead of needlessly having such impractical feelings and yearnings that ultimately don't make you happy. If the response you get from prospective dates is not always positive, consider how your approach might be improved. You may want to ask what you could change about yourself. Becoming more self-aware can help you understand what to change or at least help you appreciate another's point of view or not. It will be hard interacting with people today. You overreact to the smallest things and feel completely misunderstood. It would do you good to take a step back, clear your thoughts and start tackling the arguments in a calmer way. In the late afternoon, the moon enters Pisces, ending its void of course which began late last night. Over the next 2 days, our creative and spiritual senses are enlivened. This is a time to trust our intuition, examine our subconscious workings, and get in touch with the numinous and liminal. It is an ideal lunar period for working with divination techniques like tarot or scrying. Artistic pastimes such as painting or making music are also favored. If we are stressed, bathing, showering, or relaxing near bodies of water can be rejuvenating.